Hi, I'm Mark from Coffee Break, and this is a bit of a different video from the type of video we normally post here on our YouTube channel. If you enjoy it, then please comment, please let me know, but I'm very interested to hear your thoughts on this topic too. Today, I'm actually in Spain at the moment, and we're recording some content for Coffee Break Spanish, and I've spent most of the day speaking Spanish, making lots of mistakes, because I think making mistakes is what learners do naturally, and I'm a learner of Spanish, and I will continue being a learner of Spanish. But just at the end of the day, I was reading a news article, and it's about an article which has been published in a journal. The journal is called Cognition. It's the International Journal of Cognitive Science. And this article basically claims that there is a critical cutoff for learning a language, meaning that if you go beyond a certain age, then even if you choose to learn the language, you're never going to learn to speak it fluently. The authors of the article have written about a study that they've done. The study involved a Facebook grammar quiz, basically where respondents had to answer grammar questions. And the respondents took part in the quiz, and the respondents aged from age 10 to their late 70s, but most of the respondents were between the ages of 20 and 30, or in their 20s and 30s. And the idea was that they responded to grammar questions, and by getting the questions right or wrong, this informed the researchers to identify their ability in speaking or in using the language. Now, some of the respondents were native English speakers, as far as I understand, and others weren't native English speakers. Some had been learning the language for a number of years, and others had been learning the language for less time. Now, I think research into language acquisition and language use is very, very important. But I think certainly the findings of the article and the news article, the way it was reported, did shock me a bit, because I really feel very strongly about the idea that learning a language is not something that you have to do as a child. Yes, of course, it's great if you can learn as a child and then use that language regularly and get benefit from using that language. But I think there's a huge benefit to starting learning a language later in life. And another thing that I feel very strongly about is that it's not necessarily about being fluent in the language. It's about being able to do what you need to do and communicate in a positive and successful way without necessarily being fluent. I would argue that you don't necessarily need to be fluent in fact, in most situations. As I said, I've been speaking Spanish all day long. I don't feel I'm fluent in Spanish. I speak Spanish well, but I certainly made myself understood. And of course, the person I was speaking to all day was very sympathetic and understood me and helped me when I got things wrong. But for me, there's perhaps something that's even more important about speaking in a language, and that is having fun, enjoying yourself and making yourself understood and getting the benefit from that understanding. Many of our coffee break learners are older. We have many stories from our learners where they're saying that they perhaps started learning a language earlier in life and didn't have the opportunity to use it, but it's only later in life that they'd had the opportunity to start using it again. So they're using Coffee Break to improve their language skills at a later stage in life. I think that's fantastic. And equally, we've also had lots of stories of learners who are coming to us because they've found a new need to learn a language. For example, we have grandparents who have a new grandson or granddaughter whose mother or father speaks another language, and that way they want to engage with their grandchild and want to learn the language of the grandchild's mother or father. And it's a wonderful reason to have to learn a language. I would love to know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts on language learning, and I'd love to know when you started learning the language that you're learning. Is this something you started later in life? Is it something that you've been working on for many, many years? Or is it something that you just started recently? There are many examples of extremely effective communicators out there who have learned a language later in life. And if you're looking for some inspiration from an older language learner, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying this, I would suggest that you look up Steve Kaufmann. Steve is a wonderful linguist and a fantastic person. He has been learning languages all his life and has started learning a number of languages after the age of 50. Steve's in his 70s now, and he's the first to say that it's important to keep learning and to keep taking new challenges all the time. So definitely look up Steve. I'll put a link in the notes for this video. So let us know what you think about this topic. I'd love to hear from you. It would be really interesting to hear your thoughts about when you started learning languages, and if you think it's important to learn languages at a particular time in life, or if you can keep going for as long as you want to. I certainly don't intend to stop learning languages. I've just started looking at Croatian because I'm going to be going to Croatia in the summer, and I'm really looking forward to visiting a new country and learning the language associated with that. But that's it for now. If you'd like to have more language learning content, then of course please do subscribe to our channel here. Let us know what you think, give us a like, and we'll be back soon with more coffee break learning for you. Thanks, bye bye.